ready for in-depth discussions on everything from the court to the field, mixed with the business and culture that orbit the sports world. Whether it's the latest blockbuster trade or the societal impact of sports, Two Men On with your hosts, Van Nunley and Fred Slow, with producer Isaiah Johnson on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports App.
It's Tuesday, Albuquerque! You know what that means? That means rules don't matter anymore. Don't worry about rules. They don't matter.
Doesn't anybody care about the rules?
Nothing matters. Do whatever you want. Cheat all you want. Cheat the fans. Cheat the game. Welcome back to the program. I am Fred Slow. Van Nunley is here. Van.
Hello. Good to be here.
Producing the show is Isaiah Johnson.
Hello, fellas. Just had to fix some technical difficulties back
We
here.
saw that.
Yeah.
We saw that.
See how calm I was?
No, we weren't watching that closely.
Well, I was calm.
Calmer than you are, dude.
Yeah,
That's
way.
two Big Lebowski references
Yeah.
in the first 90
That's
seconds of this program.
That's one too many.
1 hour tops.
Yeah. That new chair really brings the room together.
It does. Get a nice new chair in here, and I don't want to sit in it. Get me too comfy. I want this hard, old, beat-up chair. Keeps me on the edge of my seat. Keeps me rigid. Keeps me focused.
We've been working here for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've had the same chair for 6 years.
I believe I have also.
I don't
look at it.
I don't believe this chair was new when I got here.
I don't want to know what chair I'm sitting in.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what I'm sitting in.
You know what we should do? Because I know everyone listens in the morning for the backyard blow up keyword of the day.
Sure.
Whoever wins, like the backyard blow up, American Home Furniture and Mattress, they should maybe just throw your boys a couple office chairs.
So there's some great prizes in the backyard blow up.
Yeah.
But I don't know who's doing the demolition. Who's blowing the thing up?
I believe it's being blown up
Is
by
it Acme?
Valentine Swimming Pool and Spa,
Oh.
American Home Furniture and Mattress Plus, and of course Jackalope. Don't forget about Sinlawn and AAA Pest Control. That's who's blowing up your backyard.
Well, who's the munitions company who blows it up in the first place? That's what I want to know. We need to send them a shout out.
Oh, I thought you were talking helium.
Oh, because you obviously, with all the extra funds from your backyard
Yeah.
blow up, you will buy a hot air balloon
Yeah,
and put it in your backyard.
that is correct.
Okay. I like it.
I bought some happy birthday balloons the other day for NWA New Mexico Duke City Championship Wrestling's 2-year anniversary.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I put them on the, all right, this is maybe the most boring story for anyone in the whole world.
By the way, you're being very middle school cheerleader right now.
Yeah.
Your birthday is a day. You're an adult.
Yeah.
You can't have your birthday day for a whole month.
I
all
can
right?
if it's pro wrestling. And so I have a normal 4-sided ring that you traditionally think of when you think of pro wrestling. And then I have a
So
six,
when I do think, I do think with a lot of foresight.
Yeah.
Oh, four-sided.
4-side.
Four-sided. Okay.
Yeah. And then I have a 6-sided hexagon pro wrestling ring.
Which is fun.
It was weird, right?
Yeah.
So we go out for the birthday show and there's over 300 people, I think 350-ish. So I go out there and that's a lot of people to have at a party.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a good turnout.
I thought it was more than 350.
I think it was closer to 375, but I'm going to be conservative.
I was going to say 400.
It was close to 400 people.
Okay.
It was definitely 350 paid. And then,
there you
yeah,
go.
and then
that's what.
whatever was over the
Yes.
top was over the top. Because I know, like, you didn't pay.
Never.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Never.
No, they let me know that
Uh-huh.
you let them know that you don't have to pay.
I've had my bracelet on for 3 months now. The same
You
bracelet.
just showed me
Yeah.
a wrist with no bracelet.
Okay, thanks for ruining the radio gig I was about to do, but that's fine.
Well, there was more to that.
Bit. Yeah,
What was the rest of that bit?
you got to see my ankle, see what else I get into.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's for an ankle bracelet
Mhm. Correct.
that your pro B put on you.
A PO.
So I got these 6-sided rings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, I put these hot air balloons on it. Hot air helium balloons.
Helium balloons.
I put these helium balloons on the
Birthday balloons.
birthday balloons.
Yeah.
Made out of, what is that material?
Oh, God, just made out of pure cancer.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
They're not like ones.
Correct.
They're like,
Those are fine.
yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
ones.
Those are weird.
Yeah. They're like these ones. Like that's a helium voice.
Oh, that's a helium
That's
voice?
a helium voice.
All right.
So anyway, I got in the ring and there's a ton of people there because I opened the show. You know, they hit my music, TI. My music's TI.
Mhm.
They hit my music and they bring them out. And there's so many people that I forgot to even mention over my 10 minutes. No, I was not out there 10 minutes, 5 minutes in the ring. That I was in a completely different 6-sided ring. It was like
Yeah.
the elephant in the room the whole show because nerves got the best of me.
You didn't just hang in there for a while before the show started just to get your sea legs in a new ring?
Well, it was the people that got me, not the ring itself.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
The formation around the ring. There's a new seating.
There was a new, well,
New shape of the ring, you got new
ish.
seating.
Yeah.
I do like there's more room around the sides to run around now
Yeah.
and commit
Yeah. We're not using it ever again.
out of ring antics.
No, it's back to traditional after this.
Really now?
Yeah.
I liked it.
A lot of people did.
Is it because of all the flack you got from mainstream media, fake news, because your ring was donated by Qatar to Duke City Championship Wrestling?
My $400 million
Your
ring.
$400 million 6-sided wrestling ring
Yeah.
with no strings attached whatsoever.
I also brought in a mobile McDonald's to park outside the venue
Aw.
to feed
That's
people.
nice.
Yeah. Rules don't matter anymore, Van.
No.
Congratulations to cheaters.
Now hold on.
Yep, Joey Greco.
Careful,
Okay.
because one's a cheater,
Uh-huh.
proven.
Joe Jackson.
No. Missy Elliott, that.
Pete Rose and
Pete Rose.
and Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Pete Rose. A trail, a money trail.
Now didn't
Evidence.
cheat
There's
or bet?
receipts for what he did.
I
Joe
don't-
Jackson was framed. Shoeless Joe Jackson is a pariah for the rest of the cheaters.
So Joe Jackson, who you may know from Field of Dreams, also he was a real life person.
Mhm.
He's not just Ray Liotta.
Correct.
If you asked me to describe what he looked like, I would describe Ray Liotta.
That's the only reference you have,
Yeah.
because he played baseball before the invention of photography.
Correct.
You could only be painted
He-
at that time.
He literally played baseball before the Great Depression. He played baseball before Prohibition.
Before my lifetime.
Yes. Well, yeah, but you were
There's
born in
just
the
been one
you're born in
great-
the 80s.
well, it's just been one Great Depression my whole life.
Also in the 1919 World Series, he went 375 with 12 hits and no errors and
The only
hit
one
the lone home run for the White Sox.
the only one to show up and play baseball.
Career batting average over 350. Oh, 356. Forget me.
Stud.
Now, I'll tell you what he's guilty of. He took the $5,000 bribe and then still played his rear end off. Like,
I don't think there's a paper trail for the bribe. That's all
no, he took,
hearsay.
no, he accepted the $5,000. So every player got offered gambler's cash. I don't know what the verb to use here to throw the 1919 World Series, or it was like 6 of them or something, right? He took the money, but then didn't play poorly. He was literally going to take the money and run.
Yeah.
Which I love.
He didn't know he was supposed to throw the World Series. He played his ass off.
I think
He
knew.
thought the money was because that's the first game he ever wore shoes.
No, that is not correct.
He thought
That's just a nickname.
he was being paid by the fine people at Puma to finally put some cleats on and not play shoeless.
What year do you think Puma started?
1918.
For those that are outside the understanding of this, Commissioner Robert Manfred decided that Major League Baseball's punishment for banned individuals ends upon their death.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So you're banned until you die.
So you're saying if Pete Rose wanted to get into the Hall of Fame, should have died earlier.
So this removes the total of 16 deceased players and one deceased owner from Major League Baseball's banned list. The most notable, we mentioned 17-time All-Star, Major League Baseball all-time hits leader, Peter Rose, who was banned for gambling. Now, I think a lot of the friends of this show, because I know the Numbers van, they know who Pete Rose is.
Mm-hmm.
They understand what he was in the 70s. They recognize he's, as voted by the fans in 1999, one of the 4 greatest Cincinnati Reds of all time. In 1985, set the record for hits by a single player, going on to finish his career with 4,256, which is the number everyone knows. He's also the leader in games played, 3,562, at-bats, 14,053, singles, 3,215, and outs, 10,328. And he won the World Series 3 times, twice with the Reds.
Compiler.
One with the Phillies. We don't talk about that one a ton. But when he was, I think it was mostly managing, right? That's when he was betting on it? Was that your understanding? That's my understanding.
It was both. Because there was a time he was player manager.
Oh, okay, touche.
He was doing all 3.
Yeah.
Playing, managing, and gambling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And playing the odds.
Yeah. And underage girls, but we won't go into that.
Yeah. That is actually part of the story.
Yeah.
Not a great...
Ban him for that. Not
he
gambling.
should be banned for that. But soon he'll be put in the Hall of Fame and it'll be brought to you by DraftKings. And that's where we're currently at. We'll continue down this road whenever we get back. My thing was with rules, we can either have them or not.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Which one do you want? Do you want to have rules or do you want to not have rules?
Sure.
I have been in...
Because the rules don't apply to me either when I die.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's not a single rule, to my knowledge, that I have to follow after death.
The rate of decomposition. That's a rule. That's science.
No, that's 100% based on climate.
Well, it's not your concern anymore anyways.
I have to follow it.
Mm-hmm. You're not going to know about it.
Yeah. Now, I would imagine I would still rule.
Rule the nest of the earthworms?
The way coffins are made now, I don't know how quickly earthworms get access to people's.
Eventually.
On a long enough scale, eventually. Now, are we talking pine box stuff? Because I'm kind of into that.
Yeah.
If when you die, you ask me to bury you in a pine box coffin that I construct, I would do that for you.
That's kind. That's kind. Tombstone style.
Tombstone style.
Just build it on the spot. Roll me in it.
Face down or face up?
Send me to the Hall of Fame.
The next day.
Yes.
When does the Classics Committee vote? I don't think it's this year. I don't even think it's next year. We'll be having this conversation in 2027, maybe 2028, because I feel like they just did it. This is also a thing I should have known. I'm going to tell you it's fall of 27. I will have that for you when we get back, but I feel like it's fall of 27. Also, if it's winter of 27, like does winter start in November? Winter starts in December.
Officially.
All right, so I'm going to say it's fall of 27
Okay.
is when they're going to vote Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson, and whoever these other 16 dead Major League Baseball whatevers are. And they're going to go into like the...
I mean, it's a shame Shoeless Joe has to go in the same class as Pete Rose. Free Shoeless Joe. Been innocent this whole time.
Again, took the bribe money.
Conflicting reports. That's just what they said.
Now, who's they?
That is hearsay. That's conjecture. No proof.
We'll talk more about Pete Rose whenever we get back. It's 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610. Hey, Sports Animal.
If your tree.
That's the whole tragic world.
Goddamn props, shows been rocked.
Ode to the greats, the tapes, the boombox, and to the bus stop, the bootlegs are hot. The days fade away, won't stay on the block. So
Welcome back to Two Men On. Talking about Major League Baseball. Pulling a, what do you want to call this? A let him in movement? I don't know what to call this. What's it called when you die and then you get something?
Posthumous.
All right, so it's called posthumous.
Yeah. You've been saying posthumous your whole life?
What's that?
The way you pronounce it?
Posthumous?
That one.
Okay. Posthumously.
Yeah, that one. Nailed it.
Now, is this a political thing? Because I think Donald Trump pardoned Pete Rose.
For which crime?
Betting on his team to win, I guess. Isn't that what he said?
So, I mean, he also
spent several months in federal prison for falsified tax returns. Is that what you're about to talk about?
Yeah, he got, in addition to the gambling and the alleged underage girl stuff.
That part's weird.
But like super concrete. With the tax evasion. He got pardoned for that. So 1 out of 3 ain't bad. What was his career average? 333? Same for crime.
Dang.
Pretty good.
How old would he have been for 33 to be half past his age plus 7? Now, I heard that today, there's no punchline here. This is literally what I heard. That Rob Manfred called Donald Trump on his Saudi plane. I'm not joking. And that is why this whole thing happened. I don't think Major League Baseball wants to get politically aligned with a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we'll talk later about this NHL owner is making 51st state jokes, not realizing that hockey is 60% Canadian or whatever. But that's wild to me that would be part of this, if that is part of this. That's wild. Now, if you remember, there was the Dowd report, which said Pete Rose wagered on over 50 Reds games and hundreds of other baseball games in 1987. Now, this is when he was the manager of Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Immediately after that, like a year, I mean, not immediately, after due diligence. Was it Giamatti? Is that who was the president at the time, Major League Baseball?
Vincenzo Bartlett Giamatti.
Ah. So he banned Rose in 89, and then, I mean, that was kind of it. Rose went to jail after that.
Not for gambling.
For falsified tax returns due to gambling losses.
Gambling losses. Yeah. Correct.
Now, he never, I think, formally banned him from the Hall of Fame, did he? It was like the writers just never put him in. I think that's accurate.
It's an unspoken rule.
Yeah.
I bet he is upset that he didn't play football because that only would have been like a 4-game suspension.
Max.
Instead of lifetime.
Mm-hmm. I heard you could get a 4-game suspension in Major League Baseball if you cheat in MLB The Show online. That's how strict Major League Baseball is.
You put in the cheat code and put all your players at a 99.
Yeah, for unlimited 99s.
Mm-hmm.
99, the best you can get in baseball. Probably all sports games. Are there hundreds in other sports games? Can you be 100?
Well, if you're scared to roll over to 100, like a Y2K thing,
roll it back to 99.
Keep it 99.
Keep it 99.
We know what 99 is.
Because does it go to 100? Does it go to 00?
Yeah, it's the 99-cent store. No, it's not.
No,
it's
the $1.25. Yeah, I know. I just bought birthday balloons the other day for.
Yeah,
we went over this story to start the show. Now, I want to make sure I understand all of the stuff correctly. So when Rose gets suspended,
side quest, real quick.
Yep.
I'm not going to ask you if. I'm going to ask you how many.
Okay.
Wrestlers sucked helium after the show was over.
A bunch.
It was a bunch, right? I'm just assuming. I have no evidence that this directly happened.
Every wrestler tried to use one to punch someone else so it would make the popping noise. But we were obviously in downtown Albuquerque.
Mm.
So people didn't like that.
Ah,
Yeah. Triggered. The idea that triggers were pulled. So this is a real story. I don't think people talk about this a ton. After Rose gets suspended, Giamatti's murdered like a week later. I know they say it was a heart attack,
yeah.
but he was super murdered.
By his heart.
He was only 51.
It's too young.
There was so much support for Rose.
That Commissioner Giamatti's heart was one of them.
I mean, he betrayed Pete Rose and then his own heart betrayed him.
Dang.
Some people are like, hey, Rose was his own worst enemy, but really it was Giamatti's heart was Giamatti's worst enemy. But also I believe he was murdered.
Not by his heart?
I believe it was by his successor, Faye Vincent, who was a adamant supporter of Giamatti, and he wanted the shine. He hated Pete Rose.
He loved Bart Giamatti
So much that he killed him.
that he murdered him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he didn't want anyone else to do it.
For the shine.
It could only be him. It could only be by his hand, is what you're saying.
There you go. Now, you might remember years ago, and this is Bud Selig now, so we're going through them. He offered Rose a chance, but with conditions, including that he admits he bet on baseball
Mm-hmm.
and a requirement that he stop gambling and making casino appearances. Because you remember at the end, Pete Rose was in Mandalay Bay's lobby every single day.
Saw him. Literally saw him.
I met him in an independent league baseball field for like opening day of the Gateway Grizzlies years ago. The crispest, whitest Cincinnati hat I've ever seen. It was the white on white Reds logo on a white hat. No human being should have a hat as white as what this hat was.
A lot of people can have one for a day.
Yeah. This hat was this is as white. If God himself was a fan of the Cincinnati Reds and he was wearing a hat, that's how white this hat was.
Incredible.
Yeah, incredibly bright. This hat scored higher than you on the ACT. Do they take that here? The SAT.
The hat was so white. If you wear it, your credit score immediately goes
That's
up.
how white this
Yeah.
hat was.
Okay.
This hat is so white, it's running for mayor.
Oh my goodness.
Darren White.
Darren White.
Yeah,
I
it's
got
Darren
you.
White.
I picked up on it.
Getting the shine as Pete Rose. What did you call that word? Posthumously?
Posthumously.
Posthumously.
Mhm.
There's more on this when we get back. It's 2 minutes on 95.9 FM and AM 610. Hey, Sports Animal. Welcome back to the program. You start the day at the YMCA today, man?
Unfortunately, I did not.
I did not either. I got to get back on my routine.
Same.
The problem is I'm such a freak athlete.
I'm eyeing a first week of June reset. I've been choring too much. I've been getting my exercise in. I've been doing my sweating, but it's through physical labor.
The only real
I
labor,
miss the YMCA though.
the only real physical exertion I get is carrying the show every single day.
Should we go Thursday?
I'll go Thursday.
You gonna go to the YMCA on Thursday?
Let me pull up my calendar. Wouldn't
I'll
you
go.
know I'm available? All right, Loki, I do have an early start, so maybe like you want to go on like 6 o'clock. All right, we're gonna go early. We're
Okay.
going early on Thursday. Isaiah, what are you doing on Thursday?
I was talking about our radio program.
Oh, I thought we were gonna work out.
Yeah, could do both.
Isaiah, you want to hoop on Thursday?
What time?
Early.
Ha!
Okay, noted. Now, there was one bet that Pete Rose did make that he absolutely hit on,
Okay.
and that's that he would be put in the Hall of Fame after death.
When
He
did-
called that.
Who's holding that ticket now?
If he put it under an LLC, I think technically it could be absorbed by someone because entities count as people. Glass-Steagall. We could have a
Mhm.
whole talk about that another
Yeah,
time.
Citizens United.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now, I've never read a book. Okay.
You should start.
No, I'm
Now's
not going
the
to.
time. You already got your glasses on.
Right, my contacts are giving me trouble.
You're
today.
halfway there. You're Bon Jovi in this mother.
I would say I'm maybe Tina Feying this mother, but yes.
Oh no, because you're halfway there.
Oh, I thought maybe.
Whoa!
What's that?
Living on a
Okay.
prayer hill.
Take my what?
Oh God, I don't know. I just know those two sentences.
All right, there's-
And
Okay. Thank you, Zay.
There we go.
80s music connoisseur,
Mhm.
Zay Johnson.
Is that an 80s song?
I'm guessing.
89.
I would have
That's-
said 90, so 89 tracks.
Well, that's also a guess. So let's see if I was right.
So I've never read a book, and I'm not going to posthumously, what's that word, Van?
Posthumous.
I'm not going to posthumously claim that I do.
86.
The year after Pete Rose
Year
broke the
before.
record.
From the album Slippery When Wet.
Now, in his book, he says, "My prison without bars," except he actually ended up in prison, so it's a bad name
Mm-hmm.
for a book. He said that he only bet on his team to win. Now, that seems like a thing a liar would say.
Right. Because you know those days that Joe Perez
Yep, that's what
was
you're
little,
going with.
was a little under the weather.
Now, apparently, he also bet on baseball as a player. He never acknowledged that. And it was never found like in the Dowd report stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to admit to other crimes. It's not what criminals do. You not just bring up new crimes. You address the ones you're being charged
Now,
with.
in prison, you do, in fact, bring up new crimes. You confess to crimes all the time in prison
To the homies.
to the homies.
Yeah. For sure.
And then they snitch.
Street cred.
Yeah.
So they can get some time shaved.
That's literally what happens.
Like, I'm innocent of this murder. But look, a lot of more other ones you guys can you, like try
Yeah.
to find the other ones. This one I'm in the clear
Yeah.
for.
I can't believe I caught a case. I don't know prison terms.
Completely innocent on this one.
Now,
You guys put your nose to the grindstone, you're gonna find some more.
yeah,
But this one, nah, not me.
yeah, safe by a mile on
Not
that
me,
one.
dog.
Now, maybe I was out at first on a couple other ones, but you don't know.
Yeah. No replay then.
Now, if you do recall in 2017, this was my hiatus year from radio, 2017.
Okay.
So 2017 is when I quit radio in St. Louis
Mm-hmm.
and then moved here.
Right.
So I didn't cover this story at the time, but this was the statutory rape stuff.
Right.
So there was a gal who accused Rose, and I don't know what she was, 14, 15, 16?
Young.
And Rose claimed he thought she was 16, and somehow, because I guess that at the time was the age of in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know enough, but I know he did not get put into the Phillies Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Because of it.
Got two callers, boys. We got Brandon and Mailman.
Now, are they on the Pete Rose bandwagon? Because I don't want to talk Lobos.
I don't think either want to talk Lobos or Pete Rose.
Tell them
Maybe Pete Rose.
Shyamalan twist.
Yeah, we can get not Pete Rose after the break. If this is happening today, this gambling stuff, if this is a current player, if this is a whatever, cool. It's the biggest story in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now,
especially if you're an interpreter for a baseball player.
correct.
Yeah.
And he never really talked about that stuff. Like all that like accusation stuff, that stuff is left gone. So if you're putting players into the Hall of Fame based solely off production on the field, Pete Rose is a Hall of Famer. If you consider integrity and sportsmanship and character, Pete Rose, you want nowhere near Hall of Fame. Also, if you go to Cooperstown, he's all over it. There's posters and memorabilia and the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a difficult one for me. The Joe Jackson one, the only thing he was guilty of was taking mobsters' money and then not doing as they wished.
Again, allegedly. That's what his teammates said, who 100% got busted. They tried to throw him under the bus, which is an awful place to be without shoes.
The real gamble that Pete Rose made was the stupidest, which was getting in trouble because he probably lost out on like 80 milli as a Major League Baseball manager.
Mm-hmm.
That was a bad gamble.
And eventually, probably a deal with, BetMGM or DraftKings or any number of agencies. I would have loved to have him.
Pete Rose said he gambled legally on sports nearly every day for the rest of his life.
Leaning into it.
Leaning
into it.
No one wins at gambling. That's it. So there you go. We can pivot out whenever we get back. The callers, I do see them lining up. It's 2 men on 95.9 FM and AM 610. Hey, Sports Animal. All right, welcome back to the program. We're wrapping up the 4 o'clock hour. Who's on the phone, Isaiah?
Mailman.
I like him.
Oh, good for us.
Welcome to the program, friend of the show, Mailman. Mailman, how are you?
Fellas, how are you? Can you hear me just fine?
Yes.
Yeah, welcome.
Sounds better than ever.
Okay.
Are you in the building? You have to tell us legally.
No, I'm not in a building. I'm in a vehicle.
All right, welcome.
I'm in my personal vehicle. But anyway, can I ask you guys a question? Because you're my baseball aficionados,
Yep.
other than Mr. Sushan.
Yep.
And I know he knows everything, but I
We'll tell
hold you
you.
guys in a close second. Was it ever proven that Pete actually gambled when he was playing ball?
Proven?
Now,
No.
I heard that he was gambling when he was managing, but did he ever do that when he was actually playing?
So it was said that, I think it was a storage unit. Is that right, man? He had his own book
Yeah.
on his gambling bets, like a notebook, and that was found, but it was not part of any investigation or reports as a player. So if you were a betting man, yes, he bet on baseball. If you're not, no, it was never proven, period.
Okay, because as long as he didn't do it if they had proof that he did it while he was playing, okay. But I always thought that his stats were good enough that they should have put him in before he died. And if they wanted to say, okay, we think you gamble, or we proved that you gambled or whatever, that you don't go in, that you can't have anything to do with Major League Baseball, but we're going to put you in on your merits for what you actually did on the field. And I thought that they should have did that and then let him in for that, and he just couldn't do anything else. I mean, they all do their own thing with their memorabilia or whatever. Yeah. That's his whatever. But I think he should have went in just for what he did on the field. Now, secondly, your boy Isaiah, I'm glad that he took our sloppy seconds out of Pittsburgh, and I'm glad that they're going to ruin his Cowboys. I don't hate the Cowboys, but I'm glad he's over there so he can ruin the Cowboys, Mr. George Pickens. And I don't know what we're going to do still in Pittsburgh, but I'm going to be laughing when when George tears up the Cowboys. And I'm going to just tell Isaiah now and put it on documents. I told you so.
Okay. Cut that off. Good call, Mailman.
Yeah, just tell him I told him so.
He's talking about Georgie Pickens, who plays wide receiver now for the Dallas Cowboys. Did he pick a number yet?
Not yet.
All right.
Not yet.
After the contract extension,
So he's going to.
You think that's what he's doing?
he'll hold out.
What's available down there? They kind of got them all.
He said he won't hold out.
You know, like a good argument for like Roger Clemens or Barry Bonds being in the Hall of Fame is like they were a Hall of Famer before they started using steroids.
A lot of people say.
You cut their career in half. You cut their career.
Yeah.
You take the quarter end off of it. They're still a Hall of Famer.
The Barry one is, if you remove the 7 years that he was league MVP, he still has more home runs than anyone.
Correct.
And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, do the same thing with Pete Rose. Before he started gambling, he's already a Hall of Famer. On the field only.
If you would have been like, Fred, I want to bet you, what will happen first?
He would have said yes.
Let's take Brandon really fast before we go on break.
Oh, we have more calls?
Yes.
All right. So, friend of the show, Brandon, is it about Pete Rose?
Gonna find out.
Great.
Hey, Fred.
Welcome to the program, friend of the show, Brandon. Hello.
Yeah, it's only been since yesterday. I only talked to you yesterday.
Okay, this is Brandon Ortega from the Albuquerque Isotopes. Now, is this an official business call, Brandon?
It sure is.
All right,
I'm
welcome.
excited to say yes, it is.
Yes.
Yeah. Exciting stuff. Back in early April, I joined the Albuquerque Isotopes as community relations manager.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And I get to post about that today. I'm really excited to say that.
So this is a public announcement that Brandon Ortega is now the Isotopes.
Community relations manager.
Well, this is exciting. Why do you got to do this right up against the break? Don't you
Yeah.
want to do that
Why don't you come on the show?
in
Or,
the 5 o'clock hour where we got a whole
Feeling
segment
spontaneous.
to
No,
honor
feeling
you?
Spontaneous today. No, we got a lot going on today, but I was going to post about it today for the first time, and you said it'd be fun if I called you and announced it, so
Well,
that's what I'm doing.
all right, so former star of TV and radio, Brandon Ortega, now Orbit himself, I would assume.
Orbit's handler.
All right, Orbit's handler.
Yeah. Orbit's booker.
Yeah,
Not bookie.
not
Orbit.
Bookie.
Not
Orbit's
Pete Rose stuff.
manager, agent, really Orbit's dad.
Yeah,
Pretty much the title.
yeah, basically
when
holding
it
his
comes to Orbit
jock.
stuff.
Well, human dad. He has a space bear father. So
Earth
easy.
Dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Earth
Yeah.
dad.
Just the same way that Elmer Fudd was, in fact, Marvin the Martian's father.
There you go.
You were very Elmer Fudd as it relates to Orbit.
I mean, and the real reason that Brandon Ortega's waited so long to drop this exciting news on the Friends of the Show, not scheduling conflict, just passes background check. So it's official
Yep,
now.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Brandon Ortega.
He can now enter schools with Orbit.
Yes, sir.
Ow!
Excited to come on the show and talk more about it. But yeah, got a lot of fun stuff I'm working on. Clinics this summer, Club Read, Orbit, all kinds of fun stuff. We're going to talk a lot more about it. So love you guys. Excited to announce that. I'm going to post
now,
about it and we'll talk more about
Before
it.
you go, Brandon, not to keep you on the phone, are you sure you're not also announcing that you're the new director of wrestling at the El Rey, NWA New Mexico's premier pro wrestling television show?
I mean, you're the El Jefe on that. You can make the call on that.
Brandon,
You're
thank
the
you.
one writing the checks.
Thank you so much, brother.
Love you guys.
Love you too, brother. Congratulations to Brandon Ortega. He's going to crush that gig.
No punchline here at all. He is literally the best get in town, and the Isotopes got him.
Good job, Topes.
Wish I had half the amount of talent.
What do you mean? You do, exactly.
Oh, I do have
Yeah.
exactly half.
Yeah, like right around half.
It takes two of us to be men on 95.9 FM and AM 610. Hey, Sports Animal.
Lake and Fred Slow with producer Isaiah Johnson on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal.
Welcome back to Two Men On. 5 o'clock hour. Until 6:15 today. Sean joins us at 6 o'clock. Hand it off to Isotopes Baseball. Speaking of baseball, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, so I sneak in Cardinals talk too much. But they're in the news today. And really, they've been in the news for the last 10 days, but they're in the news today. The St. Louis Cardinals have won 9 baseball games in a row. One more baseball game in a row is 10 baseball games.
Yeah, but they played the Rockies 9 straight times.
That's not accurate. That is not correct. They did not, in fact, play the Rockies.
8 against the Rockies, 1 against the White Sox.
That's, again,
7-2.
They swept the Nationals. They beat the Phillies yesterday. They're not playing today. They do play tomorrow. They swept the Pirates. And the last game they lost was to the Mets on May the 2nd. Which is kind of wild. So they've jumped all the way up to second in the division, basically a game out of first, behind the Cubs.
It's a little too early for a upstart ragtag
They do this thing.
Cardinals winning streak. They usually save this for late in the second half.
September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're getting it out too early.
Yeah. Now
premature streakulation. I think that's the official baseball term.
You think they're preemie their extriculation right now?
I do. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned this off air, how the Pope is from Chicago.
Yes, I'd say that often.
But you don't often mention how the devil apparently lives in St. Louis. Because the Cardinals...
Oh, no. Atlanta.
Because the devil went down to Georgia.
Yeah.
Looking for his soul to steal.
Correct.
Now, also, the St. Louis Blues recently died for this. So it's a fun balance.
Nice.
Yeah. From the grave, Rose.
Does that mean they also get the first round draft pick?
September of 21 is the last time the Cardinals really did this thing you're talking about. It does feel flashbacky. And I know friend of this show is not watching St. Louis Cardinals baseball.
Yeah.
But if any Major League Baseball team was about to hit a 10-fer, I mean, that's a sports story.
When you hit double digits is when you start really talking about it.
Yeah. And especially when Devil Magic is back on the menu.
Right.
Yeah. Like, let's go. You need, what's the best way to say this? Everything to go right. Like,
sure.
You can't just at the professional level win 10 in a row.
Yeah.
That does not happen in baseball.
The champion is decided by winning barely more than 500% of games.
Yes.
All you have to do is win 4 out of 7.
To be really good at baseball.
Could you imagine how long the playoffs would be if it was first to win 10 in a row?
Yes.
We'd be playing the first season of baseball.
In a sport where if you fail 2 out of every 3 times, you're one of the best to ever do it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe 10 in a row. You know, if they were so good, they would have just done this sooner. Shut up.
Sure.
Shut up.
Also, I love seeing it. I got Lars Nootbaar on both of my fantasy teams. So
how is he Japanese?
Go Lars. Well, he's half.
Now, I want you guys to say it with me the way that you say Bloody Mary when you look in a mirror van. You believe in the St. Louis Cardinals.
As far as Lars goes, You can't see it from far away.
No.
Yeah. But it's there.
Also, that Cardinals baseball team, they're playing small market baseball. Like, not, again, I recognize the friends of the show, not overly plugged in.
Right.
They're only spending like $135 this year. That's like nothing. The teams that you do care about, Yankees and Dodgers, are triple that.
Right.
There you have it.
How many players do you think you'd name? You being from St. Louis and a Cardinals fan.
Lars Nootbaar.
Okay, I said that one out loud.
That's the one I got.
We got a couple easy ones, you know. I bet you can name 5.
How's Contreras doing?
He's still on the team. He's turned it around. He's heating up. He's putting the team on his back this last 9 games.
Donovan can go.
Donovan's a good guy.
Wynn can go.
Okay, Wynn, up and coming guy. Shortstop Mason Wynn.
Arenado can go.
Arenado, he's playing this year. Welcome back.
The Jordan Walker is the outfielder who's the guy.
He is lucky to be on the team.
What are you doing?
He is awful.
They put him at the bottom of the lineup sometimes.
He's below the Mendoza line. How do you win 9 straight games when your young stud up and comer is hitting below the Mendoza line?
The kid behind the plate is Pozo because they moved Contreras to first, and he's okay.
Pozo or Pajes.
And then I don't know. Miles Mikolas is like the ace still somehow.
How is my question?
I don't know.
I guess Sonny Gray.
Sonny Gray is the ace. If you were to ask me for a ton of other players, and I would not be able to give you any.
You got 2 more than I thought you would have.
Yeah.
I didn't think you would get the catcher, and I didn't think you would get oh wait, you missed 1, 2, 3. Okay. So yeah, no, you did good. You did good.
The center fielder, Barrero, is he on the team still? Jose Barrero?
You thinking of Victor Scott?
No, Victor Scott is garbage.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, he's fast.
He's lightning fast.
Yeah.
Got 11 steals already this year.
He's fast. The one that's going to be the best one is that Mason Wynn. He can play.
Skill set.
Yeah.
He's weirdo.
So it'll be doubleheader baseball tomorrow because it's raining in Philadelphia.
Mason Wynn is short, but he's tall for Jose Altuve.
All he does is Mason win, no matter what.
At least the last 9.
There you have it. Baseball's upside down. And it's really fun for me because I feel like in my life, I'm ready to be hurt again. Like it is.
Your expectations have been so low for a few years now. Yeah, for a few years now.
And I'm not like the type of fan that is ever blinded by excitement.
Yeah.
But the 2011 World Series was 14 years ago.
And you still talk about it every day. Every day of your life.
Our anniversary is coming up.
You'll mention it once throughout the night.
I mention it when I send the invite text to people. I said, this will be the greatest night since the Game 6 of the 2011 World Series. Join Van and I.
The Cardinals messed up a few years ago.
All right.
When they tried to go after perennial MVP candidates, Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado.
Yep.
Went against their ethos. They tried to get some star power, tried to spend some money. That's not the Cardinal way. You have some undersized, underappreciated,
overage,
skinny white boy who's just emerging from the minor leagues at the young age of 29 and a half.
Yeah.
And he goes on a hitting streak in September and he throws you on his back. And then you trade for some 6th man.
Yep. Woody Williams.
Wouldn't even make the rotation on another team. And he goes off. That's the Cardinal way.
What do you mean? You got Andy Bennis's brother, Alan Bennis. Oh, what's that? We got Weaver? No, not Jeff.
No.
Jared.
Who turned into Clayton Kershaw.
Isn't that wild? Miles Mikolas is that. Miles Mikolas was pitching in Japan. Could not make a Major League Baseball team. I think he was with the Rockies, wasn't he, at one point? Shoot, he might have been with the Expos. I feel like he's that old. I don't really know. Him and Tom Brady run the same rotation.
That's funny.
They're that team right now, though.
It's fun to see.
It is fun to see this type of thing. And with doubleheader baseball tomorrow, okay. Okay. And also, if you're a Rockies fan, like, feel free. Like, come over.
Even just for a couple months.
Yeah. Even if you're like, hey, until Warren gets this thing figured out, Cardinals baseball. They have the Matt Holliday connection. They have the Arenado connection.
Yeah.
They have the Derek Kyle connection.
Yep.
Like, let's go. Become besties. The only baseball stadium that's better than Coors Field is Busch Stadium.
Short list. Coors Field, if you haven't gone, friend of the show, right up the street.
It's number 2 or 3.
Yeah. Incredible.
Incredible.
Every seat's a good seat.
Yep.
And the bar upstairs in right field
is cheap.
So sweet.
You can get a Coors Light for $5.
Mm-hmm.
Might even be cheaper. I really don't know.
Excuse me. Seat with a back? No, thank you.
For what?
Standing room only.
Yeah.
I'm going to the bar in right field.
You know what I'm here for? Libation.
Yeah.
At low cost, significantly lower than other cost. What's the name of the Giant Stadium now? It's not AT&T Park anymore. It's not Pac Bell. What is it?
Oh, got me.
I don't know. The one with McCovey Cove. That one is sweet too.
Yeah. San Francisco. I still have to go to San Diego. There's only 2 at the top of my list that aren't historic stadiums. San Diego and Pittsburgh. I think those are on Coors Field, Busch Stadium levels.
Now, I have an update on the Rockies before we go to break, okay?
Oracle.
Thank you. A Rockies loss tonight would not set the Major League Baseball record for the worst record through 42 games, okay? It'll only tie it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
They only had the second worst through 40.
Now, if they win 2 of their next 4, they will avoid like the worst start in modern history, but more than likely they will not win those.
Because of
history. Yeah, because of very recent examples.
Mm-hmm. Now look, got a new skipper.
Yep.
Got a new bench coach. Got a new hitting coach. I think they're going to turn the corner.
But Van, who are they tied with? Let me tell you. The 1895 Louisville Colonels, the 1928 Phillies, and the 1932 Red Sox, and the Orioles from 88. They all started 7-34. What?
Let's win a couple.
They're so bad.
They're going to turn it around.
I want for that.
Hey, Warren Schaefer and Jordan Pacheco reunited with the
so good.
Ever imposing shadow of Clint Hurdle on top of them, giving them wisdom and advice as they navigate mid-season baseball.
I say they call Wynton Bernard.
New coach, new bench coach, new hitting coach, and new vibes instructor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's also playing.
Oh, duh.
Yeah, put him in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we just need an active guy at the top of the lineup. Get him on base. Shake things up a bit.
Be like a Pete Rose type without all without all the gambling and statutory rape.
Nothing like Pete Rose.
Besides
actually.
that, yeah.
Make the Rockies great again. That's what people are always saying. More 2 Men On when we get back. It's 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal. Jason Tatum is out. Out. Did the Achilles under the knife today. Not just season injury or ending, but I mean this is a long rehab kind of thing. So the best player in the playoffs is no longer playing.
Okay. Bold reach, but a little recency bias, I suppose.
What do you mean? He just won the championship last year.
Nikola Jokic.
Not from St. Louis.
Shia LaBeouf, Gilgamesh Alejandro. He's still in there. Anthony Edwards still in there.
He got surgery the minute after this thing got
his own teammates are still in there.
This is like a weird team that plays better when they're all hurt.
No offense to Jason Tatum,
who got surgery behind Madison Square Garden last night.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible basketball player.
In the parking lot.
All the Boston Celtics do. Boston Celtics? Like just a whole team of Tom Sellecks? That'd be awesome.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Is he from Boston?
I think he's from Honolulu, Hawaii.
Okay, Miami.
Yeah. If all the Celtics are going to do is chuck up 63 pointers, it doesn't matter if you got a guy like Jason Tatum.
Why did they do that?
You got one perfectly good Peyton Pritchard on the bench. Shoots better 3-pointers than Jason Tatum.
Hey, they were way out in front, and then they blew it. All right, I just read here Timothy Chalamet did the surgery. That can't be right. Is that made up?
That is some serious method acting. He really goes in. He's the new Daniel Day-Lewis.
I feel like if there was a place on earth where I suddenly required an emergency surgery, Manhattan would be a good get. I feel like they got the individuals there who could pull it off. You ever had to fly with a bum wheel?
What?
Like if your foot's broken or something? You ever like navigate an airport like on crutches or like
call him ahead of time and get a wheelchair.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
Also, I guess he's not really flying commercial. I don't know why I said it like that.
Sure.
He's not Travis Hunter.
Nice.
It's not a real story.
Agree.
He really did not meet an old lady on a plane who didn't know who he was and then told him that she loved him.
So I was sitting there on the airplane knitting a new sweater for my grandson. And this nice young black boy sits down next to me.
So fast.
It was nothing but yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, all flight. He rubbed my canker sores on my ankles. What a good boy.
Reminded me a lot of my grandson that
Jacksonville, you have a new hero.
I
didn't have him.
Keep telling everyone, but I'm speechless. What?
I was talking about the days long ago when we had telephone books. And he said, I am a straight A student. I know what telephone books are, Gladys.
He introduced himself as a nice young man. Ugh.
He gave me a strong, firm handshake and looked me right in the eye.
God.
He has the hands of a 7-foot-tall man. He opened up my peanuts with no effort at all.
Also, it looked...
you can't serve peanuts on a plane anymore.
No, by law you cannot.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
To me, it appeared that he had quick hips and could turn around on a ball thrown to the hash marks or outside.
Even though the stopwatch was off, I believe he ran a sub 4.40.
Often players are known for going viral for behavior. This is a different type of behavior. It's not a real story.
Yeah.
It's not. I was an unsuspecting fan.
He
He's got the catch radius of a garage door.
Yeah,
By the way, the best garage doors in Jacksonville are McCall garage doors.
I hate social media. None of this is real. None of this is real life. And they're going to put her in the owner. Shad Khan's going to have her up in the box.
Oh yeah,
It's going to be a whole thing.
knitting.
Tony Khan's going to do a bump with her or whatever. It's going to be fine. Whoa.
Easy,
Sorry.
easy.
I've been on a plane. It was going to be a bumpy ride
Using wrestling terms,
using wrestling terms.
not.
I thought you meant B2K. Bump, bump, bump.
Is that a song?
Wow. A little too old school for you guys, huh? No, my fault. I do that a lot.
Old school.
I'm still not following. Yeah. Help me understand.
In 2005, B2K had the world by storm for like a year and a half.
Dennis Rader, the BTK killer.
No, B2K.
The letter B, the number 2,
Yes.
the number K,
No, letter K.
the letter K.
Yeah. I think
This is a boy band?
it's had some bangers.
No, I guess I'm not up on my boy band
I think
history.
they more classify as a group, right?
Okay.
Big Time Rush is a band.
Oh, easy. Produced by Diddy.
No, this is bad.
Well, they could be
okay.
victims. Hold on, they could be victims.
Now
Oh,
I thought Omarion
great chance.
was Omarion an actor?
Omarion was in You Got Served, but I'm sure he's in more movies.
I'll bite. Ben, I'll bite.
Okay.
What is You Got Served?
The dance, it you've seen Stomp the Yard, right? It's the original Stomp the Yard. It's with the dance movie.
B2K update alert.
Do you remember Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo? It's the modern version of that.
Now,
Breaking was a banger as well.
Now, B2K somehow means Boys of the New Millennium. Not 100% sure how that is the acronym.
B for boys.
Yeah, of the
2K.
New Millennium.
And then the rest of the words are just,
Now,
implied.
as Isaiah pointed out, they were active from 1998 to 2004. Did go on hiatus until 2018, where they then returned for a short run, but then became victim to, I assume, COVID.
Hey, dude, their 20-year casino tour is coming up soon.
The B2Kofficial.com is no longer an active website.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect that one to be.
How old were you in 2003, Isaiah?
2003, I was 6.
So this all tracks because that's the year they won the Kids' Choice Award for favorite singing group.
Oh,
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah, that's
How did this fly under my radar?
The way it should have. The way it should have.
I didn't know any better then, and I was listening to a lot of Diddy stuff around that time.
I think you may have heard it, but
Pull it up.
Well, that's wild. You have all the technology all wrapped around you in your production studio there, Zay.
All right, today's Isham soundbite of the day.
Oh, shout out Scott, by the way, gave me a crown earlier.
Hey.
I couldn't even tell because I feel perfectly fine.
Like a shot? He gave you a shot of Crown?
He gave me a anesthetic shot.
Ooh.
Crown Apple can go.
And I asked him, I said, how did you guys do this? Like back when, obviously not them specifically, but like back when there was no anesthesia. She's like, there's some people that actually still go without the anesthesia. So Scott is that good with his hands that some people manage to not get the shot and they still are able. He said he gave somebody a 90-year-old lady. She may have been Gladys.
First of all, you might be breaking some HIPAA rules right now, but
don't know her name.
Okay.
Are you accusing our dear friend Scott Isham of being old enough to predate anesthesia?
Well, I'm sure he knows the history of
okay,
dental workarounds.
All right, I just pulled up are you pulling up the song, Isaiah?
Yeah,
so it's called oh, never mind. This has Puff Daddy in it. We can't play this.
See, I was just trying to be a good producer.
Oh, see, I didn't know this.
Yeah, I think he is he in that song?
He's in the title of it.
Yeah.
Oh.
He produced it on his record
He's
label.
starring on it.
Yeah. His picture is in the thumbnail.
Now, this is during the time when all music videos look just like that Michael Jackson music video.
Which one?
One
Yeah.
where he's wearing all white.
Earth. That's You Are Not Alone or Earth Day. One of the two.
Yeah, they both look very similar,
Yeah.
and all of them look like
You're
that.
thinking of the Hype Williams style?
Yeah, this is definitely. Is this a Hype Williams thing?
I don't know, but from the thumbnail, it looks like it could be.
Yeah,
If you're wondering what a Hype Williams video looks like,
you shouldn't.
imagine a music video recorded in the inside of a brand new cheese grater. That's what it looked like.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and every single performer who's on screen is all in like a monochromatic look every single time.
Incredibly bright clothes.
Yeah, or
But just one
incredibly
color.
dull.
Just play with just one color, though.
Yeah, it can be beiges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it's one.
One of the shots could be only background characters from the Hunger Games, but you don't know which city part of the Hunger Games.
The fun one,
Yeah, or the really dystopian one.
which they have fun after hours. Like, the bottom of the boat in Titanic.
Okay, there you have it.
Cool.
Isaiah is still into Diddy stuff.
Nah, wouldn't put it like that.
Okay. Sorry if I was a little confused.
Definitely wouldn't put it in that. I think the I-9 should be athletes in music videos. Or is that a tough one?
That's not a tough one.
Not that tough, huh?
No, because Nelly would win every single one.
Well, he's an athlete.
Yes.
He played independent league baseball.
Stud.
He looks like an LA Fitness baller. No.
Yeah, he balls. God, he's the greatest athlete of all time. Do you ever see him as the running back in the longest yard?
Forgot he was in there.
You should not have. He's star of the show. Him and was Goldberg in that?
He was Stone Cold. Great Khali's in there.
Kevin Nash in that?
Don't think so.
I mean, we'd have to.
Could be, though.
We didn't talk about it yesterday, but we will when we get back. The World of Pro Wrestling lost one over the weekend. It's 2 Men on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal. Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to 2 Men All. All right, here's the thing. If the Knicks do win the East, the Knicks fan base is going to put Manhattan into the ocean.
They got a big break just now. No Jason Tatum. Up 2-1. Tatum's out.
3-1.
Sorry, 3-1. Excuse me. Misspoke.
Where's the next one in Boston?
Yes.
2-2-1-1-1.
Correct. Incorrect.
So they're going to go to the Eastern Conference Championship.
It would seem that way.
Did you see their fan base last night after the game?
I'm very familiar with New York fan base.
I don't see them successful a lot. Also, Yankees fan is not the same as New York fan. Mets fan is New York.
Hard agree.
Yeah. To me, all sports are better when New York is good.
Often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a handful of them.
NFL doesn't matter.
I tell you what, though, when Aaron Rodgers went to the Jets, that was fun.
For a play. Well, in the months leading up to it.
If you remember, because we obviously do Monday Night Football at Howie's, if you remember, the Jets were on like every other week, it felt like, and it was awful.
Not the best start
No, not the best start.
for the NFL or the Jets. Howie's was fine.
Howie's is great. Now, we're not talking about going to the NBA Finals. We're not even talking about winning whatever the NBA championship is called.
Yeah.
They just got one game closer to the Eastern Conference Finals. And there was just like a concert on the street. It was wild.
Has been starved.
Have you ever been to a sporting event in New York? Am I the only one in this room?
In this room, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I have none. Wait. No.
Okay. I have several, including pro wrestling stuff, including Major League Baseball. Never been to a Knicks game at the Garden. You can't just, in a city of that size, possess all the streets. Like, you can't just stop.
Some parts of town have incredible public transit.
Mostly
Other
underground.
places,
Yeah.
no one's moving.
No.
No one's moving.
It is as bad of any pedestrian pileup that I've ever been in.
And also, the fracas outside in the streets, none of those guys can afford to watch a game at Madison Square Garden. There is no way. $1,200 nosebleed seats.
Is that what it was? Sell them.
Cheapest seats.
Forget it, dude.
12 honey.
No way am I going.
Were you at this pro wrestling event in New York where Jalen Brunson and Tyrese Halliburton had a standoff? And it basically they predicted the future, which also confirms that the NBA is rigged.
I am not familiar with this. But I love this idea.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. We got Tyrese Halliburton for whatever reason.
So-
Yep.
This was a SmackDown you're talking about.
So yeah, they predicted the most unpredictable thing, which is that Jalen Brunson and Tyrese Halliburton would probably be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Until the Cavs, a superior team, got 3 straight wins.
I hope so. I look bad.
I do recall what you're talking about.
And I always root for the underdog if I don't got any skin in the game.
Sure.
If it's not one of my teams that I like. That's the Pacers in the playoffs, right? Like there's no bigger underdog in the NBA playoffs this year. Plus, I got a guy from New Mexico.
Oh, that's Siakam.
Yeah. No, he's not from Mexico.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
He's like New Mexico adjacent.
Sure.
Las Cruces is kind of like New Mexico.
It's incredibly New Mexico.
It's pretty
Closer to Hatch than Albuquerque.
closer to Texas than anything else.
Closer to Mexico.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Push. I'm a big Las Cruces guy.
Same. Sweet.
Cruces is sweet. Number one, Albuquerque. I'm a big Albuquerque guy.
Untouchable.
Okay.
Not 1, 2, and 3. Gold, silver, bronze, all Albuquerque.
Number 2, Ruidoso.
4. You mean 4? Number 4.
Yeah, Ruidoso.
Okay. Good fourth. I like it.
Yeah, I like Ruidoso a
Okay.
lot.
You're not going to go gold, silver, bronze.
Okay.
1, 2, 3 Albuquerque, obviously.
Okay.
4
Place.
Santa Fe, but without the people.
You don't like Santa Feans? Santa Feans?
Hit or miss.
I'm a fan of.
Hit or miss.
That's not really good, right?
In a way.
Also on my list, Four Corners. Not a lot to do, but kind of a cool spot.
Pretty up there.
It's nice.
Good country.
Not a lot of basketball players coming out of New Mexico. Good basketball culture.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to look up the NBA, like players born where, it's only from like 4 spots: California, Illinois, Florida,
Yeah.
New York. It's like nowhere else. I was like,
Eastern Europe.
oh yeah, touche. Any big city in the United States and any city that Vladimir Putin wants. That's
Okay, so
where
wait. Ruidoso.
Yeah.
Then, really, for Kenyo, you haven't spent some time in Ruidoso.
it's so nice.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Also, guy from Ruidoso is listening right now.
Don't tell anyone. Stop it.
I'm sorry. Ruidoso.
Oh, they're like that too.
They're like that.
I think I've told this story on air. I went down there for to play golf, like whatever, to play golf. And I ended up staying down there like a whole week because I was like, this is the prettiest place in this whole state.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. It was a busy week. We'll get back from the break. Wrap up the 5. Sushan joins us at 6.
For reals?
Off the air at 6:15. I spoke baseball. They're at home this week. It's a big one.
Cool.
Van's at the ballpark on Friday.
Yeah.
I'm on assignment. I got to go to Philadelphia this weekend. For NWA Pro Wrestling. Busy boys. Coming on. 85.9 FM and AM 610. Day Sports Animal. Boston Celtics, everything Jason Tatum, he done. Caught the knee. He's out not just the remainder of this playoffs, but probably a substantial part of next season as well. Absolute tough break for a fan of good basketball. He's a good basketball player.
I mean, that's like a year minimum, but usually like 14, 15-month injury.
It's not a short one, and you never come back from it. Not to super get into the story, but Freddie Freeman had the ankle done in the off season. He had the surgery on like tendons and stuff. And he was saying it takes multiple hours before a game to just get the thing walkable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that baseball is not, the world of athleticism, because it is, but it's not basketball on your ankles. It's different, actually. I don't know why I try to compare them. I mean, it's still incredibly hard, but.
Yeah, my best friend actually just recovered from Achilles surgery. And I'd say the number one thing he did say about it is, well, people don't realize you can actually walk pretty fast after the surgery, but it's about doing anything athletic that makes it like very, very hard.
Well, and anything athletic is already hard for me. So I don't think I would bounce back quickly.
Kevin Durant, he did it pretty well. Klay Thompson didn't.
Kobe.
He didn't.
Kobe was not the same.
No, not nearly the same.
It got way better, and I feel like the first guy...
Like Terrell Suggs did it, and he got better somehow.
Yeah.
But besides him...
Marcus Lattimore, no. Adrian Peterson, yes.
Now, what helps Tatum? Well, Adrian Peterson, I think it was the ACL.
Oh, my bad.
I was thinking about that, though, same concept. The thing with Tatum that helps is the way he plays. He doesn't have to be the quickest guy. He doesn't have to be the most explosive.
Because he's shooting threes only.
Yeah, he shoots a lot of threes. He goes into the post, but you can get that type of strength back. But it's not like, for instance, if I'm a Kyrie fan or if I'm Kyrie, I'm more worried about Kyrie getting back to where he was than Tatum.
Kyrie's too old now.
He's older, and then just the way he plays basketball. Like Tatum doesn't have to rely on straight quickness. He's tall enough to get shots off. Kobe's big issue was he can no longer get the lift on his shot that he usually would get. So all of his shots are more contested. Durant, he's able to make it happen because he's tall. He can still get his shot off.
He's a big boy.
He lies about his height. He's actually way taller than he says. You see him standing next to guys that are 7 foot and he's taller than them.
I do that too. When people ask me how tall I am, I go pretty tall. We didn't talk about it a ton because it's too weird. Feel free to look it up. Panthers minority owner Doug Sifu,
Whatever.
was suspended by the NHL for some social media posts. They're the weirdest, darkest, grossest things you will ever see. Just out there stuff. Gus Sushan joins us after the break. It's Doing It On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
producer Isaiah Johnson on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Welcome back to 2 Men On. Tacoma's in town. Isotopes are looking to sweep 6 of them. Josh Sushan is with us. Josh, welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
That's nice. That's a nice little intro. The St. Louis Cardinals have won 9 games in a row. If they win one more, that is 10. They actually have a chance to win 2 more. It's doubleheader baseball tomorrow. Josh, for the fans listening, how significant is 10 games in a row in Major League Baseball?
Well, what is that? 1/16 of the season?
Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
1/16 of the season? Yeah, that's a lot. It's hard to win 10 in a row. You're usually playing, what, at least 3 teams, sometimes 4 teams?
Over the course of that span, that is accurate. Yes.
Yeah. And that would mean if they do win 10, that means they are halfway to what the Oakland A's did in 2002.
What was that? 21? Was it 21? I think it was 21.
You know, the thing that's kind of forgotten about that A's streak, you know, because the whole like movie, Moneyball, all that,
Yeah.
was
Pitching.
there was nearly a strike in the middle of that. And so, I mean, there was a strike date. And when the players left at the end of, I think it was a Sunday or something like that, they didn't know if they were going to play again the next day. I think the A's were at 14 or 15 in a row at the time. And it was, you know, for long-suffering Oakland A's fans, it was very much, really, we finally have a winning streak and they're going to go on strike. But as it turned out, decisions were made by the players' union and owners, and no strike. Season continued. They won 20 in a row.
And if we win again tomorrow,
Yep.
it's called a winning streak. It has happened before.
That's pretty sweet.
Thank you.
Did you get to say goodbye to Jordan Pacheco?
I did not. By the time that I left the ballpark Sunday, either he had already left and I didn't see him, or it wasn't official. So I did not get to see him. And he has not returned my text message yet. By the way. Warren Schaefer did. Jordan Pacheco has not returned my multiple text messages to him. The first message was also very snarky, too. So we're being honest. It was something like, you couldn't take me with you?
Dang. Josh is.
Swoosh.
Yeah. We just learned a lot.
You can go whenever you want.
Yeah. Okay.
Every Monday for the next couple months, you can go.
See ya.
Super excited for both those guys.
All right. So you split on the road, you win at home. They finally split on the road.
Yep.
Now let's win some at home.
That's right.
How do we stack up against Tacoma?
So Tacoma has this really interesting, if you like balls in play, right? If you don't like strikeouts and walks, you're going to really like Tacoma. So I'm looking at Tacoma's team stats. You ready for this, boys?
Yep.
Okay, let's start with their offense. The fewest strikeouts in the league and the fewest walks in the league. Okay, now let's look at their pitching staff. The fewest strikeouts and the third fewest walks.
Yeah, but they don't win no games.
Put it in play, huh?
Put it in play. It's like the 1970s, not even 1980s baseball. This is going to be like 1970s. Swing early, put it in play, and let's go.
That's cool for you. Get you out early.
We'll see. It's still Albuquerque, right? I think this will be interesting, boys, because this is the first homestand where you look at the forecast, starting with the temperature, and you're like, okay, it's warm. It's spring now.
Yep.
And so I think this will be the first week that you really start to see the impact of heat and altitude, because there's been a lot of balls the first 38 games of the season where you're like, well, come summertime, that's probably a home run. And so we'll see what that's like this week.
You know, it's obviously with the rehabs. Is Tovar down right now?
Yeah, Tovar's with us still. Yep.
Oh, he can
He's
hit.
not playing shortstop.
I mean, he can just hit the ball, dude.
Must see TV right there.
I'm looking for the Isotopes to sweep against Rainier. Like, I'm looking at it. Like, this seems like the one where the PCL is like, oh, here come the Isotopes. It feels like that kind of week with everything that Josh just described. Not just the weather, but all the movement with the leadership, the players up and down. I mean, it seems like there's a firecracker ready to explode, right?
Well, can we just win tonight?
We're doing baseball cliches last
Yeah.
time we talked, and here you are already.
No, I mean, seriously, like, let's just win today, right? I mean, the record is 16-22. Like, yeah, okay, you win 6 in a row, you're back to 500, but let's just win today.
Yeah,
Right?
but being a 500 would be sweet.
You know, and you mentioned like all this positive energy. Yeah, but also like we lost our hitting coach. Okay. So, and he's like one of the best hitting coaches out there. And so we have an interim hitting coach for this week, and then we're going to have a new hitting coach next week in Reno. You know, and yeah, we got Tovar, and we got Tyler Freeman, we got Aaron Schunk. Like, that's super exciting. We also just lost Jaden Hill, a horrific hamstring injury when he was pitching Sunday in Oklahoma City. So we lost one of our best relief pitchers. Both Saturday and Sunday, we had bullpen games, you know, where the starter literally went 1 inning, both Saturday and Sunday. And so that's a lot of, I mean, we got tired bullpen, got some fresh arms, but, you know, we'll see on everything. And that's what I mean, like, let's just win today. Okay.
Yeah, but then 5 after that.
Well, why not 19 after that?
Oh,
Why you
okay.
raise the boys to 6 when they could win 20?
Well, because I was kind of looking at the last year records, and I think Rainier was the only team that we had like a winning like series season against. I was just trying to get high on the hog, you know.
Sush, now that Pacheco is up with his bestie Warren Schaefer, do you expect a little more movement up and down since Pacheco's had eyes on this team all year?
Ooh, good question. I don't think it's really going to make a difference, to be honest with you. I mean, most of the time those decisions are made by the general manager. You know, certainly they're going to ask his input on those things, but it's, look, phones exist, right?
Yeah,
sure.
So if they had questions anytime within the last 2.5 years, they could just call Jordan and get his opinion. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's going to be asked, and he might have some things to say. You know, I'm excited to see what Jordan can do with the Rockies hitters because those guys all know him so well. You know, he's worked with a lot of those guys in the off season, not just during the season too. So, you know, I'm curious to see how that's going to go. But I mean, again, realistically, phones have existed for a while, so you can get that information if you need it.
We reported on it earlier. It's been the talk of baseball. I just saw some stuff from Bob Nightingale really kind of burying it. Dark day in baseball is what he called it. Rob Manfred today said that once you're dead, your bands don't matter in Major League Baseball. The return of Pete Rose for an opening possibly for the Hall of Fame, Shoeless Joe Jackson. Give us your thoughts, Josh. You're a historian of the game.
I agree that it's a dark day for baseball. I do not think that Pete Rose should be part of baseball, whether he's alive or dead. He committed the ultimate sin. He bet on baseball. And for people who say, oh, he only bet on his team to win, that's malarkey.
Mm-hmm.
Because unless he was betting the exact same amount of money every single game, then when he was not betting on his team, he was essentially betting against them. And when you go back and you look, they have all of the betting slips. You go back and you look. If John Franco, his closer, had been used in back-to-back games, he was not betting on the Reds that day because he knew his closer was not available. If Eric Davis had a bad back, if Dave Parker's knees were beat up, he was not betting on his team to win those games. Not to mention, there's cork that's been found in the bat that he was using as he was pursuing the all-time record. That was cheating. And let's not forget about the statutory rape in the 1970s of the 16-year-old girl that he brought to Florida multiple years.
He's the worst.
Yeah, agree.
He's a despicable human being. He was an unbelievable baseball player who had more hits than anybody else, but he is a despicable human being. May he rest in peace.
Other side of this big announcement is Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Now, he did bet against his team, literally took money to not play well.
But then played really well.
Yeah, and then screwed him over.
Revisionist history, right? Like that's what most people know about the 1919 White Sox is from 8 Men Out and from Field of Dreams.
Correct.
Right? Which were outstanding movies and not documentaries.
Oh, I like that part.
Dang.
Josh, do you hate Rob Manfred? Because I'm getting a vibe right here.
I'm not a fan of his. You know, I don't dislike him for a lot of the things that most baseball fans dislike him for. Like, I don't think he's great at his job. I think he's terrible at communicating, which is, I think, the most important job as a commissioner. I think he totally caved on this. You know, look, there's all of these advertisements for gambling nonstop in all sports. and it's nauseating. And then someone gets caught betting in any sport, and we're like, oh my gosh, how did this happen? And now you allow people who literally bet on the sport, and now you're going to say, oh no, it's okay. We'll let the Veterans Committee decide if they should be in the Hall of Fame.
I'm kind of into the revisionist history for as far as Shoeless Joe Jackson goes.
Kind of a sexy.
I mean,
it's cool.
Yeah,
story, romantic.
He hit 375 in the World Series, 3 doubles, 1 home run, 6 RBIs,
All
no
of those hits
errors.
after the games are out of reach. He got
And
all
then-
those hits when the game was out of reach.
12 hits, a World Series record.
Yeah, there was also like a stretch in the middle of that series where they weren't sure if they were still getting paid, so they went back to like playing their best. But also, a lot of those hits came
So
like
sweet.
late in games when they were trailing.
I mean, these are sweet notes that
Yeah.
really put into perspective how bad Rob Manfred, I guess, is doing.
I mean, I like the rule changes that he's made. I really do. I like the pitch timer. I like the bigger bases. I like that that we're actually going to have a strike zone that's consistent. That it's not like, oh, this umpire has a big strike zone. This guy likes the corners. This guy calls them high. I like that it's going to be consistent. I like the path that we're going on with this. I like a lot of those different things.
I think what I want is for it to not be what I feel is motivated by like political entity, because I think I'm really confused on all of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah. There's never been a president who has tried to get involved in this, and none of the other commissioners have ever thought that, oh, once someone dies, then we should like change things.
For
Ray Liotta plays like my favorite revisionist history characters in like all of Hollywood. Shoeless Joe Jackson,
Mhm.
Henry Hill from Goodfellas. Like, he's incredible at turning a shady character into a good guy.
Yeah.
Cocaine Bear. Like he
would-
did great in that.
I don't know what that is.
It's a movie.
So-
You guessed it.
So I just
About
learned
a bear on cocaine.
big week promotion wise out at the ballpark. You talked a lot about the weather, Josh, earlier. You do expect a lot of fans this week. Does this one feel different to the players on the field? Does it feel like, hey, back in Albuquerque and really comfortable, let's get into our stride baseball environment?
I think so.
Yeah.
I hope so. I mean, here's the thing, like so much of a roster continues to be just such a transitory team, I think that anytime that there's rehabbing major leaguers, it provides a little different level of energy, right? Because first of all, you're going to eat better, right? The boys are paying for it. And so you just get the big league vibes when those guys are around. So let's see if it works.
Josh, thank you for taking some time with us.
I appreciate you giving me some time with you.
I'll be listening to you and Pilo on the way home.
All right, cool. We're talking about Schaefer and Pacheco. Shocker.
I mean, it's relevant. It's news of the day. I mean,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm super into that. Josh Tucson, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Isaiah producing the program.
Didn't know much about Pete Rose, but I've never heard Josh talk about someone like that. So he's confirmed awful.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you didn't believe the rant I went on right after he died, but now you'll believe Sushan when he gets into the Hall of Fame? Cool.
This is one of those because I hate everyone. It doesn't matter when I hate someone. Moment.
Say in your defense, Sushan is a way more reputable source. So
Good job, everyone. GG.
see you tomorrow, Parker.